Hello and welcome to the third day of Learn React with me. Today we're going to build our first component. So I'm going to open my Fleet editor, and as you saw yesterday we explored the My app. This was the Create React app we explored, and I also showed you around the code editor here, Fleet, that I use. Alright, so today I'm going to open our My app project. Is already there, one of my recent, or you can click open and go to the specific folder that uh, desktop and click My app and click select folder to open. All right, so when you open it's like this. I'm gonna close all these tabs because yesterday when you open it was like this. I'm gonna close them. And you can see when we export this, by default Create My React cap come with node modules, come with this folder, with the source folder, and then with a bunch of these that come also by default. All right, now these 4 files below, you can just ignore them. The source folder, this is where we'll be playing around, and we'll delete most of these files. And this public folder also will delete most of these files. Now, okay, to start, how about we first say npm start so that we can see our project. All right, I'm gonna say yes. All right, cool. So this was our default project that came. All right, so I'm gonna go to my source folder, and you see here that we have app.css. This came by default. We don't need this. I'm gonna delete most of these files, and you'll see as I delete our default uh, app here will cause some errors. So let's see app.js. Also, I don't need this for now. I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna just leave probably the index.js. Cool. So I'm gonna delete this, and you can go ahead and delete so that our what is super clean, and I can see, you see errors already. So I'm just gonna delete most of these so that we start with a clean project, and so that we can see what every file does. Cool. I've deleted most of those. I'm left with index.js, and even in index.js you can just select all and delete everything. So we're just starting from scratch. Awesome. And just click save there, and also you see it's empty. Also, let's go to my public, do the same. Like, we don't need this. I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna remain with only the index.html. I'm gonna delete this logo file. I don't need this one. Also, I'm gonna delete this one. I'm gonna delete too. Okay, we don't need that for now. And then this file I'm also going to delete. Cool. So I have my node modules folder, which obviously came by default, that has our React and React DOM folders. And then we have public, and then we have source. In public there is only index.html. So even here in index.html, so let me minimize my terminal here. Even here, this is a default HTML document. I can even remove most of this. I can just select, and we can start from scratch. Control A. I'm gonna delete. So as we can see, public and source. I have on my public I have my index.html, and on my source I have index.js. So only those two files. And you can ignore these files, are not that much important. I could delete them, but let's just leave them for now. All right, I'm gonna begin with index.html. Now if you use Emmet, you know that shortcut to start a HTML document. Now in React, our application will be inside, will live inside a div with an ID of root. So that is the one that I'm gonna is it like this? Let's see. Yeah. So that's the only thing I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make a div with an ID of root. That's the conversion. So that is number one. So only that's a HTML file and only that. And then I'm gonna come to my index.js. And index.js, I'm gonna import two things. The first thing to import is the React library itself. So I'm just gonna say import, as you can see, React, and then I say from, in quotation marks, from React. Cool. So this is the React core. And then the second thing I'm gonna import, I'm gonna say import a React DOM. React DOM. So this is the one that allows us to render our documents on the browser from React DOM. Cool. So only those two things, and the React and React DOM, they're both on Node modules, as I've showed you in the past. All right. After that, now we can start creating our first component. Now, a component in React is a function. So all I need to do, I can just say here function, and I can just say this is our first component. I can even write here maybe first component, and put like that, like function. Cool. So this is my first component, though most of the time the convention is to not write first component, is to write the word app. So probably I should just write app, because this is where you'll see a lot on what, but you can name it anything. So I'm just gonna call it app, but that's the convention to use app, and it has to start with the capital letter. So let's say, and then this has to return what is called JSX, which is a mixture of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, as you will see here. So I'm just gonna return. Let's say I'm gonna return just a paragraph. I'm gonna say a paragraph. Say learn React with me. Cool. So actually that is our first React component, as simple as that. Now, if you go here, we won't be able to see it right now because there is one thing that is missing, and we should render this. All right. So right now, what we need to do is to render this component into our DOM, and so that we can see it in the browser. And how you do that, first you select the root element. We select this root element. All right, and you just do that normally. So I can just say const uh, root element is equal to, so this is just normal JavaScript document dot get element by ID, and then I'm just gonna say here root. All right, and then I'm gonna say const root is equal, now is when I'm gonna use this React DOM to render. I'm just gonna say React DOM dot create root, and this is going to be the interest of the first point of our app. So, and then I'm just going to say root element. All right, cool. So I'm just selecting a root, and then here is where I'm I'm creating the first point of our app. And then here I'm just gonna say root dot render, and then I'm gonna render our first component. And how you render that is just you open tag, and then you just write up, and then you're gonna close tag, and then here you're gonna close like that. Now if you go back here, we should say, see, learn React with me. All right, so we have created our first React component. This is day 3, and all right, you can go over the code. It was just simple code. You import, you create your function, you select root, and then you render it. All right, bye.